One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. This country are tubes for building and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had shops where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals, it would be easier for the young to get the metals and come to bend and then do all that. This country will develop. But we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria.
Z-Team for high-tech precision engineering. A technology and heavy-duty industry. Original spares for automotive locomotive.
Good afternoon and welcome to the capital city of Bayelsa State in South Nigeria. I am Victor Eulogy. We'll start off with the headlines where recurring grid collapse, a national embarrassment, says NERC chairman. Bayelsa Female Students Association inaugurates new executive committee. Outrage in Taraba as bandits attack Tiv village and burn churches. And now to the details of the news. The chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, Dr. Musiliu Oseni, has admitted that the recurring collapse of the national power grid has become a national embarrassment. Oseni made the remark in Abuja on Monday at the opening of the 2026 NERC seminar for judges, noting that the Commission has intensified its monitoring of the Supervisory Council Control and Data Acquisition SCADA project, which is expected to significantly improve grid reliability. He explained that with recent establishment of the Nigerian Independent System Operator, it had become necessary to brief members of the judiciary on the rules and regulations governing the Nigerian electricity supply industry. The Commission has intensified oversight of the implementation of the Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition project. This is aimed at addressing the recurring incidents of grid collapse, which have become a national embarrassment, Oseni said. The Bayelsa State chapter of the National Association of Female Students has officially inaugurated its new executive committee. The event marked a significant step in strengthening the association's presence in the state, with the newly elected leaders tasked with advancing the interests of female students across the institutions in Nigeria. Speakers at the inauguration emphasized the importance of female student leadership empowerment and active participation in educational and social development. The new executives pledged to uphold the values of the association, promote unity. Bandits have murdered scores of people in sustained assaults on Tiv Christian communities in Chanchangi district in the Takum local government area of Taraba State. Community elders and religious leaders told newsmen that suspected Fulani militia effectively took over many villages, forcing survivors to flee, occupying homes and farmlands, and destroying churches and other properties. A community elder and Northern Christian religious leaders, Elder and Northern Christians Religious Leaders Assembly official, Reverend Dr. Micah Philip Doper, told the aforementioned publication that repeated appeals to authorities had yielded no response. Another community elder who spoke during an interview on Tuesday morning described the situation as dire. saying attacks had been ongoing for about 2 years, but had escalated dramatically in recent weeks. The Federal Ministry of Health has asked the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation to lift the hold on January 2026 salaries for nurses working in federal tertiary health institutions. Reports indicated that the salaries were previously withheld because officials mistakenly believed the nurses had joined a strike organized by the joint health sector unions. The ministry explained that nurses did not participate in the strike and should not have been affected by the government's no work, no pay directive. The Nigerian Army has announced the release of the list of successful candidates for the Direct Short Service Commission Course 29-2026 recruitment. According to a statement signed and released on Monday by the Military Secretary Army, shortlisted candidates are to report to the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, Jaji, Kaduna State from 9 a.m. on the 22nd of February 2026 for training. The statement directed members of the public and applicants to check the released list on the Nigerian Army's recruitment website at recruitment.army.mil.ng, recruitment.army.mil.ng. The federal government has commenced the implementation of key welfare provisions agreed upon in the newly renegotiated 2025 agreement with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, including a 40% increase in the Consolidated Academic Allowance, CAA, for lecturers in federal universities. This was disclosed on Monday by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, in an official statement and directive addressed to vice chancellors of federal universities. The latest development follows the signing of the revised agreement on January 14, 2026, a pact that concluded months of negotiations aimed at averting further strikes and improving conditions in the country's public tertiary institutions. The minister confirmed that some federal universities have already commenced salary adjustments reflecting the allowance increase, while others are expected to follow suit. The PDP leadership crisis has now reached the Court of Appeal in Abuja. Kabiru Tanimu Turaki, recognized by his faction as national chairman, appeared alongside Governors Bala Mohammed and Sheyi Makinde, with other members of the National Working Committee also present. This case stems from a federal high court ruling in Ibadan that nullified the party's November 15, 2025 convention. That judgment barred Turaki's NWC from acting as national officers and instead recognized the faction loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. The court affirmed that the caretaker committee led by Mohammed Abdurrahman and Senator Samuel Anyanwu remains the legitimate leadership until a valid convention is held. And that was the news. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Victor Eulogy. Please kindly follow us on all social media platforms on Facebook,